The number one concern for most families of older adults is their safety, of course.
If you're over 50, there's a quiet danger in your kitchen, and no one's really talking about it. It's not your smartphone, not your stress levels, not even your memory. It's your food. Every bite you take either helps your brain or harms it. And the most dangerous foods, they don't come with a warning label. They're in your pantry, on your dinner table, in your favorite snacks and healthy meals. You might feel fine now, but brain decline doesn't start with a sudden crash. It starts with a slow fade in focus, recall, sleep, and mood. And by the time symptoms show up, it's already taken hold. Brain fog, memory lapses, confusion, even early signs of dementia. The truth is, what you eat after 50 can either protect or poison your brain. And today, we're breaking down 4 specific foods that science has shown can quietly damage brain function, especially in older adults. But this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because the good news, just removing or reducing these foods can dramatically improve your clarity, energy, and mental sharpness even within weeks. So let's start with the most common and most underestimated brain killer in the modern diet. It's something millions of people consume every single day, thinking it's convenient, affordable, or even harmless, but in reality, it's setting your brain up to struggle. We'll reveal it in the next part and why even healthy versions of this food might not be as safe as you think. Let's start with the most obvious and most addictive culprit, refined sugar. It's in your cereal, your coffee, your ketchup. Even the so-called healthy granola bars or yogurt might contain more sugar than a can of soda. But what does sugar actually do to your brain? Studies show that excess sugar causes chronic inflammation in the brain. This inflammation disrupts communication between brain cells, slows down processing speed, and impairs memory formation. And over time, it's been directly linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, so much so that some doctors now call it type 3 diabetes. But the problem isn't just desserts. It's the constant low-level intake. A slice of white bread here, a flavored coffee creamer there. Even a few tablespoons of barbecue sauce can sneak in more sugar than your brain can handle. Here's how it works. When you eat sugar, your blood glucose spikes. In response, your body releases insulin. But if this happens too often day after day, your brain cells start to become insulin resistant, meaning they stop absorbing energy properly. The result? Mental fatigue, fog, trouble recalling words or events, even mood swings and irritability. And for people over 50, your body doesn't handle sugar the same way it did when you were younger. Your metabolism slows, your insulin response weakens. That means the damage builds up faster and lasts longer. Now here's the tricky part. Even if you think you don't eat a lot of sugar, it's likely hiding in places you wouldn't expect. Take a look at some of the biggest offenders. Flavored yogurts, bottled sauces and dressings, white breads and low-fat foods, breakfast cereals, energy bars, canned soups. So what can you do? Start with awareness. Begin reading labels. Watch for hidden names like high fructose corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, or even evaporated cane juice. Try to keep your added sugar intake below 25 grams per day. That's about 6 teaspoons. Swap sugary snacks for things like fresh fruit with cinnamon nuts or nut butter, plain Greek yogurt with berries, dark chocolate in moderation. Your brain will thank you not just tomorrow, but for years to come. And the next food on our list, it's one you might think is healthy or at least harmless. But inside your bloodstream, it wreaks havoc on your arteries and on your mind. If sugar is the slow fogger of the brain, then trans fats are the silent saboteurs. Trans fats, also known as partially hydrogenated oils, were once common in everything from margarine to cookies to frozen dinners. And while many companies have cut back due to regulations, they haven't disappeared. Not completely. And here's why they matter. Trans fats don't just hurt your heart, they hurt your brain. In fact, a major study in Japan found that people with higher levels of trans fats in their blood had significantly higher risk of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Why? Because trans fats increase oxidative stress in the brain, a process that damages brain cells and accelerates aging. They also clog arteries, including the small vessels that supply blood and oxygen to your brain. Less blood flow equals less function. And if that wasn't enough, trans fats also interfere with how your brain uses energy. They disrupt neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that control memory, mood, and focus. You may feel foggy, slow, unmotivated, and over time, the damage sticks. So where are trans fats hiding? Even though many labels now say 0 grams of trans fat, they're still allowed to contain under 0.5 grams per serving without disclosing it. That means if you eat multiple servings, you're still getting harmful doses. Look for these red flags on ingredient labels. Partially hydrogenated oil, shortening vegetable oil blends. Common culprits include microwave popcorn, packaged pastries, non-dairy creamers, frozen pizzas, fried fast food. What can you do instead? Stick to healthy fats like those from avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish. These support brain cell membranes, reduce inflammation, and can even help improve memory retention. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being informed. Because every time you swap out a harmful fat for a healthy one, you're giving your brain a better shot at staying sharp for longer. Next up, we'll talk about the third food that's sneakier than sugar and fats combined, and why it's especially dangerous for older adults who want to stay independent. You might have cut out sugar to protect your brain. Good move. But if you replaced it with artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin, you may have traded one problem for another. These chemicals were originally designed to help people lose weight and control blood sugar. But now, research is showing that artificial sweeteners might harm brain health, especially long-term. Let's start with aspartame, the sweetener in many diet sodas, sugar-free gums, flavored waters, and even some diabetic-friendly snacks. A 2022 study published in Nutrients found a strong link between high aspartame consumption and increased risk of anxiety, depression, and cognitive impairment. How? Aspartame breaks down into phenylalanine, aspartic acid, and methanol compounds that can disrupt neurotransmitter balance in the brain. This interference can lead to memory problems, irritability, brain fog, mood swings, and that's just one sweetener. Others like sucralose in Splenda have been shown to negatively affect the gut microbiome, which plays a key role in brain function via the gut-brain axis. Disrupt your gut bacteria, and you disrupt your mood, clarity, and focus. Even more concerning, many seniors trying to eat healthier unknowingly consume artificial sweeteners in places like protein shakes light, yogurts, low-carb or keto snacks, cough drops, chewing gum, flavored waters. The packaging may say sugar-free, but the chemical trade-off might be even worse for your mind. So what's the alternative? Stick to natural sweeteners in moderation. Stevia, pure, not highly processed blends. Monk fruit raw honey or maple syrup in small amounts. And retrain your palate. The less sugar and sweeteners you use, the less your brain craves them. Because the truth is, sweet doesn't mean safe. And what tastes harmless today could be quietly affecting your brain health tomorrow. Next, we move on to the final food on our list. One most people never think twice about, even though it's sitting right in your kitchen cabinet. You've heard about sugar, you've heard about fats, but there's a third category, quietly sabotaging brain health in people over 50, refined carbohydrates. These are foods that quickly break down into sugar in your body. They cause blood sugar spikes, inflammation, and oxidative stress, all of which directly impact brain function. We're talking about white bread, pasta crackers, bagels, white rice, mini breakfast cereals, processed snack foods. These foods lack fiber, healthy fats, and protein, the things your brain actually needs to stay balanced and energized. Instead, refined carbs create a roller coaster effect. You eat them, your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin to handle the surge. You crash hard. That crash leads to brain fog, low energy, and difficulty concentrating. Do this multiple times a day, every day, and it slowly chips away at your memory and mental sharpness. A study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that older adults who consumed a high glycemic diet that's refined carbs had 4 times the risk of cognitive impairment compared to those who ate more whole foods. And it doesn't take years to see the effects. Even short-term studies show that high-carb, low-nutrient diets lead to worse performance on memory and attention tests in just weeks. So what can you eat instead? Replace refined carbs with whole, complex carbohydrates like quinoa, sweet potatoes, oats, whole grain breads, and pastas, legumes, beans, lentils. These release energy slowly, stabilize blood sugar, and fuel your brain without inflammation. And don't worry, it's not about never having bread or pasta again. It's about shifting from fast-burning, nutrient-empty carbs to those that support long-term brain function. Because when it comes to aging, well, protecting your memory starts with what's on your plate. Coming up next, we'll explore how these 4 foods affect real-life symptoms, from forgetfulness to mood changes, and how to spot the early signs of food-related brain decline. It's one thing to know what foods are bad, but how do you actually feel the damage they cause? Let's take a look at the subtle and sometimes not so subtle signs your brain might already be struggling with the effects of sugar, trans fats, artificial sweeteners, and refined carbs. Here's what many people over 50 start to notice. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You misplace your keys, glasses, or phone more often. You feel mentally foggy in the afternoon, like your brain just hits a wall. You struggle to find the right words during conversations. Your sleep feels lighter and less refreshing. You get irritable or anxious more easily and can't figure out why. Now, most people chalk this up to aging. They say, that's just how it is after 60. But what if it's not? What if your brain is inflamed, starved of nutrients, or struggling to keep up with blood sugar swings? Because that's exactly what these foods are doing behind the scenes. Refined sugar inflames neurons and impairs memory. Trans fat stiffen blood vessels and slow cognition. Artificial sweeteners interfere with neurotransmitters. Refined carbs cause rapid glucose highs and lows that exhaust your brain. And when these foods are part of your daily routine, even in small amounts, they build up effects that mimic aging. But unlike aging, they're reversible. That's the good news. Many older adults who reduce or remove these foods report noticeable changes in just weeks. Clearer thinking, more stable mood, better sleep, sharper memory, higher energy levels. Because the brain isn't just a machine, it's a living organ that responds to what you feed it. And when you stop feeding it things that harm it, amazing things can happen. In the next part, we'll show you the key steps to take right now, simple actions that anyone over 50 can use to start protecting their brain from further damage. If you've been eating these foods for years, don't panic. You're not alone and it's not too late. The human brain is incredibly resilient. Even in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, it can heal, adapt, and grow new connections, especially when you start removing the things that are holding it back. So, what are some simple steps you can take starting today? 1. Read labels carefully. Don't just look at the front of the package, look at the ingredients. Avoid anything with partially hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, enriched white flour or bleached wheat. If you can't pronounce it, your brain probably doesn't want it. 2. Don't just cut, replace. If you remove sugar, replace it with fresh fruit or a small piece of dark chocolate. If you ditch refined carbs, try oats, quinoa, or whole grain bread. If you cut out bad fats, add olive oil, avocado, and walnuts. The goal is not starvation, it's substitution. Number 3. Drink more water. Dehydration affects brain performance more than most people realize. Even mild dehydration can cause fatigue, confusion, and memory slips. Aim for at least 6-8 glasses a day more if you're active, or take medications that dehydrate. 4. Build brain meals. Create meals that combine healthy fat, lean protein, complex carbs, colorful vegetables. Examples: grilled salmon with roasted sweet potato and spinach, eggs with avocado and whole grain toast, chicken stir fry with brown rice and broccoli. These meals stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support neurotransmitter production, all critical for brain health. 5. Practice consistency, not perfection. One bad snack won't destroy your brain, but eating these damaging foods every day for years can. So start small. Replace one thing a week. Focus on progress. Your brain will respond faster than you think. And coming up in the next part, we'll dive into a daily routine for brain protection. What to eat, when to move, and the one habit that improves memory almost instantly. Let's build a simple routine. You can follow one that supports brain health from the moment you wake up. You don't need supplements or complicated hacks. Just a few intentional habits, done daily, can clear brain fog, boost memory, and even help protect against cognitive decline. Here's how a typical day might look. Morning. Fuel your brain right, start with water. After 6-8 hours of sleep, your brain is dehydrated. A glass of water in the morning helps wake it up faster than coffee. Eat a brain-smart breakfast. 2 eggs cooked in olive oil, half an avocado, a slice of whole grain toast, or a small bowl of oatmeal. Berries, blueberries are especially powerful for memory. Avoid sugary cereals, white bread, and flavored yogurts. These spike your blood sugar and crash your focus by mid-morning. Optional. A short walk outdoors after breakfast. Sunlight boosts serotonin, which supports mood and mental clarity. Midday, stay balanced. For lunch, think color plus protein. Grilled chicken or tuna, leafy greens or steamed veggies, sweet potato or brown rice, a drizzle of olive oil or a handful of nuts. This combo gives you steady energy without the crash. And don't forget, water staying hydrated through the day keeps your thinking sharp. Avoid heavy, processed lunches like fast food or white bread sandwiches. They drain energy and fog your mind. Afternoon, move plus mental breaks. This is when most people over 50 feel a dip in energy. Instead of reaching for sugar or coffee, try this. Take a brisk 10-15-minute walk. Do a crossword, puzzle, or quick memory game. Listen to calming music or practice deep breathing. Movement increases blood flow to the brain. Mental activity keeps neural pathways sharp. And relaxation reduces stress, which is a major factor in long-term brain health. Evening, light, nourishing dinner. Dinner should be light but satisfying. Examples: baked salmon or grilled turkey, roasted vegetables, a small portion of quinoa or lentils. Avoid eating too late and steer clear of sugary desserts. If you crave something sweet, have a few slices of apple with cinnamon or a small square of dark chocolate. Note: before bed, protect your sleep. Good sleep equals better memory. So create a wind-down routine. Turn off screens 30-60 minutes before bed, dim the lights, read something calming, stretch or meditate for 5-10 minutes. Avoid alcohol, late-night snacks, or too much caffeine in the afternoon. That's it. No complicated system. Just steady habits that help your brain thrive even decades after 50. Coming up next, what science says about reversing brain damage caused by poor diet, and what's still possible even if you've made these mistakes for years. If you've been eating sugar, trans fats, refined carbs, or artificial sweeteners for decades, you might be wondering, is the damage permanent? Or can the brain heal itself? The answer is encouraging. Your brain is more adaptable than you think. While some types of damage like those caused by strokes or advanced Alzheimer's may not be fully reversible, many forms of food-related cognitive decline can improve with the right habits. Here's how. 1. Neuroplasticity, your brain's superpower. Your brain isn't fixed. Even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, it can grow new connections between neurons. This is called neuroplasticity, and is how your brain learns, adapts, and repairs damage. When you start feeding it better fuel and stop flooding it with inflammatory foods, the healing begins. Memory improves, mood stabilizes, focus returns, and daily tasks become easier again. 2. Brain inflammation can be reduced. Chronic inflammation caused by poor diet doesn't have to be permanent. Studies show that when people adopt an anti-inflammatory diet rich in vegetables, omega-3 fats, and antioxidants, markers of brain inflammation begin to drop in just weeks. This leads to better word recall, faster reaction times, more restful sleep, improved emotional resilience. 3. Insulin sensitivity can improve. Remember how sugar can lead to insulin resistance in the brain? Well, research shows that removing refined sugar and processed carbs can restore insulin sensitivity over time, meaning your brain starts absorbing and using energy more efficiently again. This helps prevent energy crashes, brain fog, and fatigue. 4. Damaged brain cells can be replaced. While you can't bring back neurons that have completely died, your brain is constantly creating new cells and connections, especially in the hippocampus, the region responsible for memory and learning. This process, called neurogenesis, is supported by omega-3 fatty acids, like those in fish and flaxseed. Physical activity, mental stimulation, like learning something new. Quality sleep. The takeaway? It's never too late. Even if you've eaten all the wrong things for years, your brain can begin to recover if you start giving it the right fuel now. In the next part, we'll show you the top brain protective foods you should add to your diet and how they can help undo years of damage naturally. Now that we've covered what to avoid, let's focus on what to embrace: foods that actually help heal, nourish, and protect your brain as you age. These aren't rare or expensive. They're simple, everyday foods backed by science and easy to add to your meal starting today. 1. Blueberries. The brain berry packed with antioxidants called flavonoids. Blueberries help reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. Studies show that older adults who eat blueberries regularly see improvements in memory, learning, and motor skills. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, or eat a small handful as a snack. 2. Fatty fish. Fuel for brain cells, salmon, sardines, and mackerel are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA, a fat that makes up a large part of your brain structure. Omega-3s have been shown to support memory, reduce cognitive decline, improve mood and focus. Aim for 2-3 servings per week, or consider a high-quality fish oil supplement. 3. Leafy greens. Daily brain booster spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard are loaded with vitamin K, folate, and beta-carotene nutrients that support cognitive health and slow brain aging. Just 1 serving per day can make a measurable difference, according to studies from Rush University. 4. Walnuts. Small but mighty walnuts contain ALA, a plant-based omega-3 and polyphenols that help protect neurons from damage. They've been linked to better processing speed, focus, and even lower risk of depression in older adults. Just a small handful a day is enough, and they make a great snack or salad topping. 5. Eggs. Memory's best friend, eggs are a rich source of choline, a nutrient that helps build acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter vital for memory and learning. They also contain healthy fats and protein, which support steady energy throughout the day. Try them boiled, scrambled in olive oil, or baked into veggie muffins. These are just a few of the most powerful brain protective foods. Coming up next, we'll talk about lifestyle habits that boost the effects of these foods from movement to mindset and how they work together to protect your brain for years to come. Great brain health isn't just about what you eat, it's about what you do every day. In fact, the foods we covered earlier work even better when combined with key lifestyle habits that improve circulation, reduce stress, and activate the brain's natural repair systems. Here are some of the most powerful habits to adopt. Giblon 1. Move your body every day. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to support cognition. It also stimulates the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a compound that helps grow new brain cells. Even light activity helps. A 30-minute walk, chair exercises, Tai Chi, or water aerobics. Gentle yoga aim for at least 20-30 minutes per day, even if it's broken into short chunks. 2. Manage stress through mindfulness. Chronic stress increases cortisol, a hormone that shrinks parts of the brain involved in memory and focus. But short periods of calm can reverse this. Try deep breathing, 5-10 minutes, guided meditation, listening to soothing music, journaling. Spending time in nature, just 10-15 minutes of relaxation daily can lead to measurable improvements in mental clarity. ULT3. Prioritize quality sleep. Your brain cleans house during deep sleep. It clears away toxins, consolidates memories, and resets for the next day. Without enough rest, brain fog, poor focus, and even depression can set in. Tips for better sleep. Stick to a regular bedtime, limit screen time at night. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals late in the day. Keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Most older adults need 7-8 hours of sleep per night, even if they don't always feel tired. 4. Keep learning something new. Mental stimulation is like exercise for your neurons. It keeps your brain sharp and helps build cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to adapt and work around damage. Ideas. Learn a new language, play a musical instrument, do puzzles or word games, take a class or try a new hobby, read challenging books or listen to educational podcasts. The key is novelty, doing something new, not just repeating old routines. By combining brain smart foods with these habits, you create a powerful system that fights memory loss, slows aging, and helps you stay sharp, independent, and confident for years to come. We've talked about sugar, trans fats, refined carbs, and artificial sweeteners, but there's one more ingredient sitting quietly in your kitchen that deserves attention: salt, or more specifically, excess sodium. Now, salt isn't inherently evil. Your body needs sodium to function for nerve signaling, muscle contractions, and fluid balance. But too much of it, especially from processed and packaged foods, can silently damage your brain over time. How salt harms the aging brain: high sodium intake raises blood pressure, which reduces blood flow to the brain. Less blood flow means less oxygen, slower neuron activity, impaired memory, higher risk of stroke and cognitive decline. In fact, a study published in Nature Neuroscience found that excess salt caused inflammation in the brain, leading to impaired cognition in just a few weeks. Another study from Weill Cornell Medical College showed that high salt diets disrupt the gut-brain axis, damaging the intestinal lining and triggering inflammation that affects mental clarity and mood. Where salt hides. Most people think they're safe because they don't add much salt to their food. But here's the problem. Over 70% of sodium in the average diet comes from processed and restaurant foods, not the salt shaker. Sneaky sources include canned soups, deli meats, and cured sausages, breads and rolls, frozen dinners, salad dressings and sauces, pizza, and takeout meals. Even healthy frozen meals or low-fat snacks can be sodium bombs. What you can do: read labels carefully, aim for products with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. That's considered low sodium. Cook more meals at home using fresh herbs, lemon, garlic, and vinegar to add flavor instead of salt. Rinse canned foods like beans and vegetables to reduce sodium by up to 40%. Stay hydrated. Water helps flush out excess sodium from the body. Watch for sodium creep, the gradual increase in salt intake from eating multiple processed items per day. And remember, it's not about removing salt entirely. It's about cutting back on the excessive, hidden amounts that sneak into your system and directly harm your brain health over time. Coming up next, we'll reveal real-life transformations, how people over 50 saw massive improvements in memory and energy after making just a few simple food changes. It's one thing to read about the science, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about people just like you over 50, dealing with brain fog, forgetfulness, or low energy, who made simple changes and saw powerful results. Case 1. Linda, age 68. Linda had been forgetting names, missing appointments, and repeating herself in conversations. She thought it was just aging until she read about the effects of sugar and refined carbs. She decided to make 2 small changes. Cut out her nightly dessert, switch from white bread to whole grain. Within 3 weeks, she noticed she was remembering more. And after 2 months, her family said she seemed sharper and more herself again. Case 2. George, age 72. George loved his morning coffee with 2 packets of artificial sweetener and a flavored creamer. He also ate microwave dinners 5 times a week because they were easy. After learning about trans fats and sweeteners, he switched to black coffee with cinnamon, started cooking 2 fresh meals a week using olive oil and vegetables. His energy improved. He said the 3 p.m. slump disappeared. And most importantly, his afternoon naps turned into productive walks around the block. Coj. Case 3. Martha, age 63. Martha had trouble sleeping and often felt anxious for no reason. She assumed it was menopause or stress, but didn't consider how salt and processed carbs might be affecting her. She didn't overhaul her diet overnight. She simply reduced fast food, started drinking more water, added blueberries, salmon, and walnuts into her weekly meals. After 4 weeks, she reported fewer nighttime wake-ups and a calmer mood overall. These aren't extreme diets or overnight miracles. They're regular people making small, intentional food choices and seeing big changes in memory, focus, and quality of life. And the best part? It's not too late for you either. No matter how long you've been eating these harmful foods, your brain can still respond, sometimes faster than you think. In the next part, we'll tackle the most common myths and excuses people use to avoid making these changes and what to do instead. If you've made it this far, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. These foods are bad. But changing my eating habits now, at my age? You're not alone, because there are a few myths that hold people back, especially after 50. Let's tackle them one by one. Myth number 1. It's too late for me. The truth? Your brain is still changing every single day, and that means it's still capable of healing. Studies show that adults in their 60s, 70s, even 80s can grow new brain connections, improve memory, reduce inflammation, sharpen mental focus. It's never too late. Even one better decision today has a compounding effect on your future self. Myth number 2. Healthy eating is too expensive. Yes, organic kale and grass-fed, everything can be pricey, but you don't need to eat like a wellness guru. Simple, affordable swaps like frozen vegetables, canned wild salmon, brown rice or oats in bulk, eggs, beans, lentils, and whole potatoes can nourish your brain without breaking your wallet. Remember, junk food may seem cheap, But poor brain health is very expensive in medication, doctor visits, stress, and lost independence. Myth number 3. I don't have time to cook healthy. You don't need to be a chef. Some of the best brain meals are also the easiest. Oatmeal with berries and nuts, hard-boiled eggs with avocado, tuna salad with leafy greens, roasted sweet potatoes, and broccoli. These take less time than ordering delivery and leave you feeling sharper, not sluggish. Batch cook once a week or prep 2-3 staples you can mix and match. You'll save time and protect your brain at the same time. Myth number 4. One little treat won't hurt. That's true in moderation. But the problem is, most little treats become daily habits that add up over years. A sweetened yogurt in the morning, a diet soda with lunch, a sugary dessert after dinner. Alone, they seem harmless. Together, they form a pattern that quietly erodes brain function. So yes, you can still enjoy treats, but make them occasional, not habitual. Your brain will thank you for it. Let's recap everything we've uncovered so far and give you a clear, simple path forward. There are 4 common foods quietly harming millions of brains after age 50. Refined sugar inflames the brain, causes memory issues. Trans fats stiffen blood vessels, and slow-thinking artificial sweeteners disrupt neurotransmitters, affect mood. Refined carbs spike and crash your energy, fuel, brain fog. They don't strike overnight. They build up gradually, disguising themselves as normal aging. But now you know better. The good news? You have control. You can make a few simple changes starting today that will begin to reverse the damage. Replace sugary snacks with fruit or dark chocolate. Swap white bread and pasta for whole grains. Ditch artificial sweeteners and flavor with cinnamon or honey. Cook more meals at home using brain smart oils and greens. Move your body daily, even just a little. Sleep, hydrate, and challenge your brain often. You don't need a complete overhaul. You just need progress, not perfection. The best time to start? Now. Because no matter your age, your brain is listening. Every bite, every choice, every habit, it adds up. And by cutting out what harms it and feeding it what heals, you're not just protecting your brain, you're protecting your independence, your personality, your memories, your future. Final thought. Growing older doesn't mean losing who you are. Your mind can stay sharp, focused, and full of life if you give it the right support. So take this knowledge, apply one small change this week, and build from there. Your brain and your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more simple, science-backed tips for staying sharp, healthy, and strong after 50. You're not just aging, you're evolving with wisdom and power. Let's make every year count